Welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, a place for you to find the courage you need to take the first step and every step thereafter to create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. I'm your host, health and life coach, Abby Hegney. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 38. Today, I want to talk to you about two incredibly powerful exercises that you can do anytime, anywhere, any day, every day, if you wanted to instantly increase your confidence. And I know that sometimes we hear things and we're like, oh, that sounds like such a great idea. I'm going to do that. And then we do what we do best. We let life take over. We tell ourselves that we'll get to it later, and then it never happens. I want to really encourage you to do this work. You can do it in 5 minutes if that's what you have, but if you have longer, take the time. Really think about it. This simple exercise has the potential to shift how you see yourself, your life, the path that has brought you here to this moment, and the path you want to create for yourself moving forward. Today, I want to help you see your life from two perspectives that will lift you up, that will show you what you are capable of, that will build confidence and motivation and inspire you to see what is possible. Our brain is designed to look for evidence to prove the stories that we tell ourselves to be true. That's why quieting your inner mean girl is so important. As long as you tell yourself the stories that are holding you back, stories that convince you that you don't have the time or the energy, that you can't do it, that you're too scared, that you're afraid of failing, you'll look for all of the evidence to prove those stories to be true. Part of creating the habits and the confidence and the life you want is allowing yourself to rewrite those stories, to start shifting what you believe to be true about yourself, about what you are capable of, what you can handle, and what is possible for you to create. These exercises are designed to do just that, to open you up, to see things differently, to celebrate everything that you have accomplished, every challenge you have made it through, every step you have taken, every lesson you have learned, every incredible moment that you have welcomed into your life and has brought you to where you are, and that has paved the way for the life that you want to create for yourself. The exercises that I want to talk to you about today is writing a letter to your past self and a letter to your future self. By the end of this episode, my hope is that you feel grounded in what you have right now, all that you have created in your life. In Confident Mind and Body, we call this a having mentality. It motivates you in a way that external motivation can't. And by the end of this episode, I want you to do just that. I want you to feel excited for the future that you are creating without the pressure, without the rush, just with the deep knowing that you are exactly where you need to be and you have everything that you need to create the habits, the confidence, the balance, the consistency you want to live the life that you love. If you are on social media, Instagram specifically, but maybe it's on others as well, you may have seen this trend going around of writing a letter to your past self. And I am not typically big on trends, but I was scrolling through Instagram one day while I was at my daughter's gymnastics practice, and I came across a couple of these reels of people that I follow doing this trend, writing a letter to their past self. And it got me thinking, What would I say to my past self? And I'll link the letter to my past self in the show notes. But I thought about young me. I thought about her in high school when she felt so uncomfortable in her body, when she was watching every little thing that she ate, when less was better, when she felt like she needed to work off all of the calories and stick with the good foods, when the good foods defined her and the bad foods made her punish herself. I thought of her in college when she was constantly looking at others and thinking, gosh, I wish I could be like them. I wish I could look like them. I wish I could do what they were doing. When feeling confident felt so far away. When she was seemingly taking care of her body, but she was really only ever hating her body. I thought of her just out of college, traveling the world, working long hours, living what some may consider like a dream life, but feeling anything but good because she was so unhappy in her own skin. Because doubt and self-criticism filled her day. And as I was thinking about all of these different versions of myself, all of these different times in my life that spanned a good 20 years, I felt compelled to follow this trend. And I'm really glad that I did. It really impacted me. It felt very cathartic in a way, but also very empowering. Sometimes we can look back on our lives and think, gosh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that, or this other thing, or I wasted this, or I never did that. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, we look back and think, those were the days. I wish I could still do that. I wish I still looked that way. I'll never be able to do that again. I do this too. Whether consciously or not, we use our past against ourselves. We let it pull us away from what is. We either think it was better then, or we look at our past and we think, well, this is just the way that it is. This is just who I am. This is just what I do. But what I saw when I did this little exercise was how my past had created the life that I'm living right now. Everything that I struggled with for over 20 years of my life has become my purpose. It's become my confidence and my energy. I often think back to who I was and I wish that I could have felt more confident. I wish that I would have been kinder to myself, that I would have appreciated my body and accepted who I was. But writing this letter, I saw that maybe I wouldn't go back and change any of that. That version of me created this version of me. I don't know that I would have the type of confidence I have now had I not felt that lack of confidence for so long. Maybe and hopefully I would have learned to feel confident, but I don't know that it would be this deeply rooted in this knowledge of how much better life is when you can take control of your own life. When you quiet your inner mean girl and you live with intention. When you allow doubt to be there, but you trust yourself enough to move through it instead of using it to hold you back. When you can find joy in what is and safety in knowing that you can handle the challenges that life throws your way. When I look back on that younger version of me, I no longer think, gosh, I wish she felt more confident, or I wish I could have appreciated my body more. Now I look back and I wish that I could tell her that everything that she thought she wasn't would be the very thing that created this life that she's obsessed with. Think about your past self at any age, or maybe like I did, a culmination of ages. What was she struggling with? What was she hoping for? What felt impossible to her at that time? Think about everything that you have been through since, the moments of growth, the challenges that you've overcome, the tiny victories you never gave yourself enough credit for. Tell her about your life now, about the things that she once worried about that are now hers. Tell her about the heartache, the love, the success. Tell her about the surprises, the things that you never dreamed of, or the things that you never could have imagined would be yours, things that you never thought you would experience. Tell her about the opportunities. Look at what you've created. Look at how you've navigated things that she once feared. Maybe, like me, you'll find that younger version of you was so hard on herself. She didn't know everything that she was doing, even the mistakes. She didn't know they were leading her right here to this version of herself that is wiser and stronger and more capable than she ever imagined. Write to her. Tell her she did it. Tell her she's okay. Tell her that the things she worried about so much worked out in ways that she could never have predicted. Most of all, tell her to enjoy the moment because one day she'll look back and realize she had more than she gave herself credit for. That's the funny thing about life, about change. We can be so desperate to get there, to create the habits that we want, to lose the weight, to get into a routine and a consistency that we miss the process. But that process is where change happens. It's where the puzzle pieces start to fall into place. But we miss it when we're so focused on getting there. We miss everything that actually gets us there. So that's the first part of this exercise. The second part of this exercise, which is not part of the social media trend, but one that I did shortly thereafter. And just like that letter to my past self, it shifted something inside of me. It created inspiration from a place of safety and purpose. And I think both of those are critical components to going after our goals. I talk to so many women who want to feel better. They want to quiet their inner mean girl. They want to be the example they dream of being for their kids. They want to feel healthier and more confident and to live life with balance and ease. But when it comes down to it, they can't do it. They can't beat the stories of their inner mean girl, the stories that tell them that they're too tired, that they can't do it, that they don't have the energy, that they don't have the time, that they can't possibly put themselves first when everybody else needs them. They don't believe in themselves enough to do it. They're focused on all of the things that they've tried that haven't worked. All of the times they've started and stopped, all of the times that they failed. They're focused on all of the time that they don't have, all of the energy that's non existent. That's the story. That's the evidence that they are creating over and over and over again. My clients learn to quiet their inner mean girl and create safety through change. And at first, as their coach, I am that safety. It's why they come to me. They don't yet have it for themselves. But the more they learn to identify the stories of their inner mean girl that have been holding them back, the more they build conscious confidence by taking small steps that work for them, for the time that they have, the energy that they have, the life that they are living. They take steps that make them feel good. They remember what they want and why they want it instead of talking themselves out of it. They create safety for themselves. They become the inspiration. This letter from your future self is meant to help you to do just that. Think of yourself in 1 year from now, or choose a different time frame, 5 years, 10 years. You get to decide whatever feels good for you. I chose 1 year. Picture yourself looking back on this moment, seeing the things that you are struggling with right now, the doubts, the worries, the feeling of maybe it's not enough. The thoughts that it's never going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I want it so bad, but I just don't know where to start. That future version of you knows something that you don't yet know. She knows that the challenges that you're facing are shaping you into the woman that she's become. She knows that the sacrifices, the messy middle, the moments of frustration and doubt, they're worth it. She made it through. She's standing in the life that you're building right now, the one that you dream about, the one that maybe feels so far away. She's there. And just like your past self couldn't see the strength in herself, you might not be seeing it in you right now, but it's there. You're doing more than you think. You're becoming more than you realize. And when you think about that future version of you, you start to see that. You get to envision what life looks like, what it feels like, how you navigate it, every challenge along the way, the ups and the downs. That future version of you wants you to slow down, to trust that you are on the right path. She wants you to stop waiting for the perfect time and start appreciating what you already have. She wants you to use what you have to carry yourself forward. Write down what she would tell you. Let her be your guide. Let her remind you that everything you need is within you and everything you want to be is already in motion. Open yourself up to the opportunities, to the support, to the steps that you would take to create the life that she is living. Oftentimes, we don't go after the things that we want because we're scared, because we don't yet have that safety. Let that future version of you be your safety net. What would she tell you right now? What would she tell you to trust, to lean into, or maybe to step back from? What do you need to allow yourself to feel in order to become that version of you? What do you need to think? What are those stories that you need to put aside to stop telling yourself and to be willing to rewrite? Who do you need to allow yourself to become the woman who is writing that letter? What are the types of things that you did to take care of yourself? When things felt good and when it felt like it was in a flow and it was easy, but also when it was challenging, when it felt really hard, when doubt was really creeping in and weighing you down. What challenges were you willing to face? What challenges were you willing to go all the way through? What are you most proud of? This is your opportunity to really explore the possibilities in front of you, to become the woman that you want to be. This is a huge part of quieting your inner mean girl and creating the habits and the confidence in the life you want. You have to start thinking like the woman that you want to be. You have to be willing to let go of those stories that no longer serve you. You have to open yourself up to rewriting them, to take yourself to a place that feels even just slightly outside of your comfort zone. That is growth. That is change. That is creating the life that you are meant for. Start with this letter to your from your future self. Once you've looked at your life from these two perspectives, I want you to focus on something really important. And that's what you have right now. Often we focus on the lack in our lives, the time that we don't have, the energy that's non existent, the progress that feels really slow. But when we shift into a having mentality, we start to see everything that we do have. We have the drive. We have the knowledge of our past, of the things that we have overcome, the strength that we have created, that strength that is going to move us into that future version of you, that version of you who's going to thank you for continuing to show up, to have the courage to go after what you really wanted, to believe that you could feel better, that life could be even better than the one that you have now. Because sometimes our lives are really great right now. and we want so much more. I feel that deeply. I feel a deep love for my life right now, and I know that it can be so much better. And I get to create that. You have moments of joy, of love, of connection that are happening right now, even if now feels busy and chaotic. One thing that I have seen from coaching a lot of women is this fear of accepting the present, as if acceptance means complacency. If we accept the body that we have now, we won't feel motivated to change it, to create the body that we know we want to be living in. If we accept life as busy, we won't have the motivation to create the change that we want and find the balance that we crave. This couldn't be further from the truth. When you accept it from a place that these two letters offer you, from knowledge of how far you've come and what has gotten you here, and confidence that it can be even better, that you are in control of the future that you want to create, that it's possible for you, acceptance becomes your motivation. Hating your body may feel like motivation to change your body, but it will only ever feel heavy. It will only make things harder, and eventually you will give up. Accepting your body as it is right now, knowing that this is the body that you have, that you can care for this body, you can take care of it, you can treat it with love, is the thing that will change your body. It's what allows you to show up in a way that works for you, for your time, for your life. And every time that you show up, you see how good it feels and you start to crave more. You become the woman who loves her body enough to take care of it, and your body responds. When you operate from a place of having, everything shifts. You stop feeling like you're behind. You stop waiting for the next thing to make you happy. You start living the life that you want right now. Here is my invitation for you today. Write those letters. One to your past self, celebrating her for how far she has come, for how resilient she was, and one from your future self, reminding you that you are on the way to creating something amazing. Maybe it's just a reminder that you have something that you really want inside of you and it's worth going after. And in the middle of it all, you have this moment. Feel gratitude for this life that you are living right now. Because when you do that, everything else becomes lighter. It becomes a little easier, maybe even a little more joyful, and a lot more motivating. I really encourage you to do this work, to write these letters, to explore what your past self has helped you to create, and to find the inspiration and that safety within your future self and the life that you want to be living. And as always, I am here to support you. Reach out, schedule your free consultation. Let's talk. Let's explore where you are right now. Let's explore everything that has gotten you to this moment. And then let's work through a personalized plan that will meet you where you are, that will allow you to use the time and the energy and the body that you have right now to create the habits and the confidence and the life that you want. All right, my friends, that is my message for you this week. I hope you go out and you write those letters. I hope they inspire you. I hope they motivate you to take that next step. And I will talk to you next week. You are ready to quiet your inner mean girl. I invite you to join me inside Confident Mind and Body, my private coaching program, where you will learn to quiet your inner mean girl and create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. Just visit wellnesswithabbyh.com and schedule a free consultation. Let's